guys, let's work through some of the problems from your ALEKS assignment. I've actually drawn some pictures to help you understand this maybe a little better. In number 1, we are adding 7/11ths and 2/11ths, and it's tricky to draw this, but I've actually drawn you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So see, that's 7/11ths, 7 pieces out of 11. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 2 11ths. And let's say you had a pizza party and you are in charge of cleaning up the leftovers, and you're going from box to box to gather up the pieces, and all of the pizzas had been cut into 11 pieces each. You could count up all these pieces and tell me that there are 9 pieces. You would keep the 9 on the top and put the 11 on the bottom, because that number just tells us how many pieces were each pizza cut into. In the way we saw it in the video, this is kind of cool. Following our order of operations, we can think of this as 7 plus 2 over 11. And so we're really just dealing with the top of the fraction, and we're not breaking any math rules. All right, in problem 3, at Donna's house, 3/10 liters of rain fell in the morning. I drew this here for you as best I could. This is 3 out of 10. And then 1/10 liters of rain fell in the afternoon. What was the total amount of rain that fell? If we put this together and we put this one up here, then we would see that we have 4 out of the 10. It says in simplest form, so I need to see that, I like to just see that these are both even numbers, and so I know that 2 goes into 4 2 times, 2 goes into 10 5 times, and so I'm going to have 2/5. I could redraw this and combine things. Instead of having fifths, then I could have, or so instead of having tenths, I could put it together. So let's just move this over here so we see what we have. And then let's go ahead and change the size of our pieces, and we'll put 2 for each new 1 piece. Does that make sense? So I now have 1 and 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5 is 2/5. All right, in number 4, it says find the least common denominator of 5/8 and 3/4. We didn't talk about that in the lessons today, but it's something that you have probably done before. So I want the least common denominator of 8. And if you see that one of the numbers can go into the other, then we're always going to pick that number. 4 goes into 8, so we'll just pick the 8. And then if we looked over here, we could see this. If we had 5/8 and we have 3/4, we could take our picture with the fourths and we could cut each of those in half again, so that the pieces would be the same size as the other pizza. And then we would see that now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eighths, and 6 eighths is the same thing as 3/4. All right, in number 5, we have 1/3 plus 1/6. I drew that for you. If you wanted to, you could look over here and see this. If we cut the thirds into 2 pieces each, we'll have 1/6. And so here you can see that I have 2/6 and 1/6, and I'm going to add those together. And so if I look back over here, I have 1/3 plus 1/6 is the same as 2/6 plus 1/6, which is going to be 3/6. You can look over here, 1, 2, 3 pieces that we have. This is using a least common denominator because 3 goes into 6. We could do the multiplying and we would get the same answer. So let's say we did 3 times 6. We're going to do the 6 over 6, and we're going to do the 3 over 3. And so we multiply these guys, and what we're going to get is 6 over 18, and then plus 3 over 18. And then we would get 9 over 18, or 1 over 2, because 9 goes into 18 two times. And actually we're going to reduce, let's see, write the addition so fractions have a denominator 6 and then add. 3 6 might be what they're looking for here, but this is also going to equal 1/2. But I think this is the answer that the problem is looking for. If it doesn't accept that, then go ahead and reduce it. All right, in number 6, it says let's find 2/3 plus 1/5. You can see it's a little funky over here. 2/3 is quite a bit bigger than 1/5, and the pieces are really different sizes, right? And so if I wanted to multiply 3 times 5, I would get 15. So over here, it would be like, I'll try to draw it for you a little bit. 1, 3. If I cut each piece into 5, I will get 15 pieces all the way down here. And here I'm going to cut each piece into 3. And keep doing that all the way down till I have 15 pieces. So the denominator could be 15. And then notice that I have to multiply the 5 on the top and the bottom here. 5 times 2 is 10. And I have to multiply the 3 on the top and the bottom here. 3 times 1 is 3. And so I'll go ahead and finish drawing this for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I don't really have to keep cutting the white spaces for you. You can see here that 1/5 equals 3/15. You can look there, 1, 2, 3. And then over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of the 15 pieces. So I'm adding 10/15 plus 3/15 to get 13/15. So if I added up these and all of these, there would be 13 of them out of 15. I don't think you can reduce that. All right, 5 6 plus 2/9 I drew for you here. And if we wanted to make a common denominator, we could multiply 6 times 9. We'll be multiplying times 9 over 9 here and times 6 over 6 over here. And 6 times 9 is 54 as the bottom denominator there. 9 times 5 is 45. And 2 times 6 is 12. I have to add the top numbers. 45 and 12 is 57. And so we notice that we have a bigger number, a bigger numerator than the denominator. And you could see that if we add this 2/9 on down here, it's more than enough to finish out that column and have some extras. And so if we want to simplify this, 54 pieces makes one whole. We will have 3 of them left over. I bet 3 goes in there also. Let's go ahead and take that down. 1 and 3 goes in there. 1, 8, right? And so I have 1 and 1/18. 1 and 1/18. That's a mixed number. It's very likely that it's okay to leave it as 57/54. Although we might have to divide by 3 in this one also. We said 3 goes into 54, 18. 3 goes into 57, then 19. So we could say 19/18 or 1 and 1/18. So either one is probably fine. Number 8, 1/3 minus 4/7. Okay, we haven't done, this is a big kid problem, guys. So notice that 1/3 is not bigger than 4/7. So we're gonna have a negative when we get done. When we take away, if we try to take away more than we actually had in the first place, then we're gonna have a negative number. So let's just go ahead and let's multiply by 7s over here and 3s over here. So we're gonna have, I'll just write it out here, 7 over 21 minus 12 over 21. So 7 times 3 is 21. That's our common denominator we wanted. We had to do 7 times 1 on the top here. We had to do 4 times 3 on the top here. Okay, 7 minus 12. We could actually remember 7 plus a negative 12. Positive 7 and negative 12 is going to give us a negative 5 over 21. Just keep that bottom number the same. Negative 5/21. All right, here's another big kid problem. Okay, notice that we have minus and minus. I don't like those, so I'm going to get rid of that right away. Minus and minus is actually plus. We have negative 1/15 plus 2/9. And this is one of those times when it would be nicer to use a little bit smaller number than just multiplying 15 times 9. So I'm going to actually use 45 because 15 goes into 45 3 times. And so I would multiply by 3 on the bottom, 3 on the top. I'm going to have a negative 3/45. And then I'm going to use 45 on the bottom. 9 times 5 is 45, so I have to do times 5 on the top. I get a 10. Negative 3 and a 10. Positive 10 is actually going to give me a positive 7 over 45. I don't think you can simplify that. Should be good. But notice what we're doing is this, I made this red so you can see this negative 1/15 as a negative. And then over here we have this 2/9, and because it was minus, minus, it became plus. And so you can see that tug of war between the good guys over here and the bad guys over here. And the good guys are going to win this time. They're going to win by 7/45. All right, number 10. Kira made a shirt using a 1/3 yard of yellow fabric. I drew that for you, and a 1/4 yard of blue fabric. And how many yards did she use in all? Notice that they're not cut into the same size pieces. So what we can do is multiply them. So we'll just take the 4 there and take the 3 here. And so what we get is 4 over 12 plus 3 over 12. And then we're going to have 7 over 12. That just means that I'm going to take every one piece here and make it into 4. And over here, I am going to make these pieces into 3. And then I didn't obviously draw it perfectly, but you could then say they are the same size. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces out of, if I kept going, there would be 12 pieces in each one. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have watched your lessons, try the ALEKS problems, watch this video, and you still have some questions, please ask me. Send me some or ask me in class, or we could even Zoom and answer your questions. But make sure you use the resources first.